Hi, and welcome to the inaugural episode of PodCass. Get it? It's a pun based on my name. Haha. Come on. That's the first thing people are gonna hear out of you.
My titular little
giggling like a fucking mouse. Anyway, hi. You don't know who I am because no one's listening. Who is the target audience for this?
Us, so we can listen to ourselves and laugh.
Yeah, and so I can hate my own voice at double effectiveness. Anyways, yeah, so it's me, Cassidy Podolsky.
Like the pun.
I'm not gonna change my name to that for a long time, so future employers won't be able to look this up. Yeah, and who are you?
I'm Lola Frances Wheeler Wall.
Wow, full name and
full
everything.
name. Gonna get doxxed.
You're not gonna get doxxed.
Your one viewer is gonna be like,
I'm gonna put your social security number in the description for those.
I can't stand that other person on the podcast. I think I'm
Luckily,
gonna dox
they'll only
them.
be there approximately half of the time because I don't have very many friends. Anyway. Okay. Hi. How do I know you? This is a little prank I've decided to pull on anyone who guessed, where I make them explain how I know them.
Well, I was friends with one of your mutual friends, and then I sat at lunch with you, and I stared at you with my giant wet eyes until eventually you decided to talk to
like
me.
a dog.
No, I remember I gave you a mechanical pencil once, and you were like, "Why are you giving this to me? I don't know you."
I probably didn't want to be in your debt. Anyway, I remember specifically how I like actually know you.
Oh, it was during the bomb threat.
No, it was that stupid Rosetta Stone with the penis.
Oh yeah, well that's when we started talking, but I met you in person during the bomb threat.
Oh yeah, okay. Anyway,
we have a storied past that we respect.
Anyone who clicked on this out of curiosity has left long ago. Anyway, welcome to PodCass, the cast who loves to pod. Yeah, okay. So basically how this works is you're gonna pick a piece of media that you like, act like I'm springing this on you, no.
What media do I like? I don't like any media.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard. And, I'll act like I haven't played it, but I totally have. It's gonna be like the podcast from Tusk.
Oh, yeah. We're not gonna say the name.
Nazi Party.
Yeah. Tusk, that'll be a future episode.
Yeah, just a little sequel date here. Wow, this is going well. 3 minutes and 5 seconds already. Hot ziggity. Okay, anyway, what's that media you like? What's that thing called?
It's called Yume Nikki, which translates to Dream Diary, because that's how you save in-game.
Wow, I thought that was the fun 3D platformer.
No, the 3D platformer is called Yume Nikki Dream Diary, which
translates to
Dream Diary, Dream Diary. I'm not even gonna... I'll get into the platformer later.
Okay, anyway, and what the hell is this? I don't know what that is. I've never played that. Okay. Is it a game? I don't even know. I was just saying I've never played that.
Okay, I think Yume Nikki, it was considered to be the start of the experimental RPG maker movement, although it was...
Oh, so it's a video game.
Yeah, it's a video game. Sorry I didn't lay that out. But it's a video game. A freeware video game made an RPG maker. And it was very heavily Earthbound inspired, but they did their own thing with it. Whatever. Anyway, the point is, I think it was released in increments.
Indie RPG
Quirky
inspired
by Earthbound, right? But it was the first one of its kind. IMO.
What about Cave Story? Actually, that came out after,
Cave
maybe.
Story?
Well, no, I think that came out before. I don't care.
Okay, are there any platforming segments in Yume Nikki? I don't think so.
Yeah, but there is some in the Yume Nikki sequel, Yume Tuki,
which is unofficial, and we'll talk about it on a later date.
Oh man, we're just sequel baiting off of the storm. All one viewers, which is going to be me making sure the upload went up right, is going to love this.
Whoa! Anyway, stop self-deprecating, people. I mean, some people might find it endearing how humble you are in your podcast, but once you get to the millions, people think it's embarrassing. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about embarrassment.
Anyway, so I believe the final one was released in 2005 because the creator, who was for the most part pretty anonymous, people assumed it was some recluse Japanese guy because she first uploaded it, as we found out later. She's a girl, or uses she her. Either way, she first uploaded it on the Japanese equivalent of 4chan, which was mostly frequented by sad
2chan?
young men. I don't know if it's 2chan. Was it 2chan? Probably.
Why would I know that? You're the Yume One Key expert.
I'm the Yume One Key expert. Anyway, It might have been 2chan, but don't quote me on that. Okay. Don't take this out of context and post it everywhere for everyone to see.
Oh man, this is going on the Twitter.
Anyway, so she first uploaded that in like, she uploaded it and was just like, hey, this is a game I made. And then she kept updating it until it eventually went to the 1.0, which was released eerily close to my birthday. Age dropping now. Name dropping, age dropping.
Oh man.
Anyway, 2005, and it was like July, I think. Anyway. And then she just went radio silent, basically. She answered a couple emails.
Wait, I thought it was 2004.
It might have been 2004, 2005. Either way. I don't know off the top of my head, sorry.
Okay, next time I'm gonna tell the person to have some notes. Anyway, but this is a trial run, so we don't need to worry about that.
Am I? Yeah, fucking...
You're just a practice.
The Yume Nikki, it's gonna be... Oh, it's like you're like experimenting with lesbianism in college. Anyway.
You can't see my expression because this is an audio medium, but if you know me in real life, you know the expression.
Anyway, yeah, so that's like the basic background info. I think what you need to know also is that unlike regular RPGs made in RPG Maker, at least the earlier ones, it did not have things like battle systems, quests, NPCs that talk to you,
gameplay,
fighting mechanics, and it was considered a walking simulator, one of the first walking simulators, although later walking simulators would mostly be in, like, what's it called?
3D?
Well, yeah, 3D, and also, like, you see it from the character. Is that first
person?
Yeah, first person. But this was, it's a walking simulator. Okay. Now to lay out the basic, I don't know if you have other questions, but I'm going to lay out the basic premise.
Oh, yeah, no, just hit me with it.
I've never played this game.
I'm just a pair of ears.
Anyway, the basic premise of the game is that you play as this girl, Madatsuki, which her name is only found out through the game files, based on her sprites. Madatsuki.
I thought it was, like, in RPG Maker, when you open it, you, like, see your party. Isn't it written right there?
Is it written right there? Sorry, I didn't take notes.
It 100% is. I'm just gonna correct you right here.
Okay, anyway. But it's also in the game files. Madatsuki means window, which is also eerily similar to her shirt pattern, which looks like the kanji for window too. So, which is like, that could have some symbolism, whatever, right? Anyway,
I'm not worried about it.
So you play as Madatsuki, and the first thing that happens when you wake up is that the instructions flash, and it's like, you gotta go to sleep, and you gotta go in your dream world and collect the effects, and you're like, okay, cool. And you're in this girl's apartment, and I think all she has is, like, a TV with, like, the world's worst game on it, Nasu. Which I've never... I fucking suck at that game, which is probably why I hate it.
I don't suck at it. I'm actually pretty good.
I got a 9,000 high score on Nasu. Yeah. Anyway, and then she has a balcony, which comes in handy later. No, that's twisted. I didn't have to say that.
No, that's okay. I'm glad we're like a single-digit number of minutes in, and we've already made a joke around some poor girl's suicide.
Oh, well, none of you spoilers! But also, that comes in later. Anyway, because, you know, it's ambiguous. It's very, another thing about this game is it's very up to viewer interpretation, because there's no dialogue, there's no exposition, there's basically no plot. Anyway, so you play as this girl, and you're in her apartment, and you try to go to the apartment door, because you're like, man, I guess I should go get, like, a bag of Cheetos.
A bag of dicks.
But, like, you try to go out, and she shakes her little head and goes, so you can't leave.
She's not a fan.
You can't leave the apartment. She's a hikikomori. Anyway, so she doesn't leave her apartment, which is weird.
That's a Japanese word, and I don't really know what it means. It basically means
recluse. You don't leave your apartment. You stay in your apartment. Whatever. Anyway, so she's staying in her apartment. She's not leaving. What she does do is she can save the game using her dream diary, and she can also... that's the name of the game.
Wow, she can save the game using her Yume Nikki, even.
And after you've dicked around in this, like, empty room for a couple minutes, you might be like, okay, I guess it's time to hit the hay. So you go to bed, and then a timer starts, and it goes 3, 2, 1. And then
it doesn't make those noises. It just goes click, click, click.
And then you wake up, and basically the room looks exactly the same, except you don't have a game console anymore. You just have a TV, and if you go to turn on the TV, it'll just show an eye.
Scary.
Oh.
Except for, like, 10% of the time, it'll show, like, monkeys or something.
Yeah, Aztec grave monkeys, right?
I hate those guys.
Anyway, so then you go into the other room, which is called the Nexus, and it has a bunch of doors which have decorative patterns on them. And if you go to each of them, you go to one of the main dream worlds, and those dream worlds can connect to other dream worlds, but the main ones in the Nexus are just like the basic ones. And that's when the game begins, is where you explore the dream worlds, which all are filled with surreal imagery and, you know,
Scary stuff.
Scary stuff.
But not so scary that you'll piss yourself.
Not that scary. Also, worth noting that the developer does not think it's a horror game.
Yeah, well, she doesn't know what she's talking
She
about.
is just some broad. Anyway,
Yeah.
she, it basically replicates the feeling of being in a dream and, like, shit just happens. And, like, some of that stuff is scary, whatever. And the game is ripe with symbolism, according to the perverse people online.
Okay, just before we stop talking about the Nexus, I want to say that it's really, really, like, annoying that the doors in the Nexus don't, like, the patterns on the doors are completely unconnected to what world they lead to. Like,
Yeah.
you'll go through a bright purple door and it'll be like, you're in Candle World now.
Yeah, no, and I think, like, the only one I actually made a concrete association with was the one to, like, Snow World or whatever, because it's, like, metal, and I was like a refrigerator.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So...
Anyway, these worlds are, like, filled with a bunch of bullshit. They're not actually real stuff. They're like, what if there were a bunch of, like, talking pinball machines? Well, they don't talk, but they do squeak at you, and they like flopped around to the beat of, like, two notes of music over and over again.
Yeah, and a lot of the maps are looping. There are some maps that aren't looping, but those are rare. And there are also various events that happen, which they're called events by, like, the wiki. And it's where, like, things happen. I don't know how else to describe it.
I really don't know why, like, they're qualified as, like, events on the wiki. They're kind of just, like, the gameplay.
Yeah.
Is, like, have stuff happen.
I guess if you consider, like, the walking to be the gameplay and, like, the events to be, like, events, a separate thing, then I guess, I don't know. But...
Okay, so yeah, you just go through a bunch of doors and you get lost really easily. You have to make your own map, and the world's, like, non-Euclidean, so you go in a door in one area and then it leads back to the same area.
And then you lose your mind.
There's no map in the game.
And if anyone has ever beat the game, 100% got all the effects without pulling up the wiki.
What's an effect?
Oh, an effect. Oh, great segue, Cass. You might be thinking, so I'm just walking around seeing events, which are just things happening?
This is boring. It could be, like, I don't know, sucking dick or some shit.
That's your second dick reference. And, like, we haven't even gotten to, like, the phallic imagery in the game. You're just,
we'll
like...
get there eventually.
You're priming it. Anyway.
Oh, no, the dick jokes are not specific to this game.
Okay.
These will be a constant.
Anyway, so you're like, well, that's boring. Plus, I'm moving it like really slowly, and it's making these stupid squeaking noises. That's a little preview. Well, you can get effects, which basically they're either just like cosmetic changes, or they like actually have in-game effects which are good, like the bicycle, which allows you to move at twice your walking speed, which is good if you're trying to explore, or like you actually want to cover ground.
Yeah, if anyone by some miracle is listening to this who has not played this game, it is impossible to overstate just how slow you walk when you do not have the bicycle effect.
Yeah, there's a glitch which a lot of speedrunners use. I saw someone who beat the entire game in 10 minutes, which is insane, right? It's like, oh, the alarm's gonna go off, so I gotta.
Right, you gotta beat Yume Nikki before your alarm clock goes off again after hitting snooze.
Yeah, and like, so it's where you, like, if you have the bike effect, you can go on the chair and you like click the bike effect, and I think you got like...
The chair in your bedroom.
Yeah, the chair in your dream bedroom. And I think you got like 5 times walking speed. Either way, you go really
4
fast.
times.
Oh, 4 times. Fuck me,
I know that because I watched a YouTube video about it yesterday by sheer coincidence.
Oh, yeah. Our twin flame, right? Anyway, so...
That would be if you also watched that YouTube video, which you didn't. Anyway.
So, and then there's the knife effect, which is, which allows you to kill NPCs, which sometimes give you money, which has, I want to reinstate, virtually no impact, except there are 2 vending machines in the entire game. Yeah, 2 vending machines, and you can buy things from them, which all it does is make a noise and go, and then,
I mean, but, like, isn't that its own reward?
Isn't that its own reward? And that costs 100 yen each, which is, like, I don't know what the percentages chance of you getting that from killing NPCs.
I thought it was 1/8.
1/8, yeah.
I'm just remembering things you told me. These don't have to be real, but they are what I was told.
Yeah, I wasn't just making that up. I probably knew. Anyway, that could also be Yume Nikki, but either way...
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. That's a different episode. Anyway, so yeah, you have these, like, money, which you can use to buy a drink, and it gives you +1 health, which I will state, the health has no impact on gameplay. The only way you can quote-unquote die is if you get caught by chasers. Just like real life. Anyway, so these are like crazy bird women that like chase you, and then if they catch you,
don't they have a silly name that I'm really hoping you know?
It starts with a T. It's like
Torregon
or
it's
something.
Terrenigan.
Terrenigan. Okay.
And then they're just like creepy bird people.
Some of them are normal, but then if you stab them, they turn evil, and then they chase you. And if they catch you, they put you in an inescapable area, and either you use the hand-eye effect to wake up, not to wake up, to be teleported back to the Nexus,
or you have to wake up.
Or you have to wake up.
I don't know, did you mention how you can wake up from the dream world at any time by pinching your cheek?
Oh, yeah, unless...
Yeah, you hit 9 on the keyboard, which is really easy to hit by accident when you've spent, like, 2 hours getting to some really, really weird minutia that's hard to get back to.
Yeah, and then you're just whipping around the keyboard, and you hit 9, and it's all over, and she wakes up. Anyway... So, you can click 9 at any moment unless you have equipped the traffic light effect, which, because you don't have fingers, you're just a little traffic light on...
Or there's also an effect that just turns you into a disembodied head, which also doesn't have fingers.
Yeah, and that also doesn't have any practical effect because you just move even slower than the original walking speed, which is in itself quite a feat.
The same with the frog.
You can't pinch your cheek as a frog.
No, you can pinch your cheek as the frog, you just are really slow.
Unless you're in water.
Right.
Then you move faster, but then you'd also move faster with the bike.
But, like, we're talking about, like, the 4 effects in the entire game that have any use. Most of them have absolutely no use.
Some of them do have use to get to, like, specific events. Or, like, I think you need, like, a couple to get to the, like, fucking poop hair effect. Like,
oh, the poop hair.
The poop hair. Everyone's vying to get to the poop hair effect.
Yeah, but, that's gross. I don't think I ever got that.
Well,
one.
It's the only that one actually does have practical use because it spawns flies, which you can use as like map markers.
Confession time. I haven't beat this game. I got too scared when I saw this one scary part that we'll talk about eventually, and I stopped playing.
It's not scary.
But, like I've spent enough time around her to like have vicariously beat the game.
Yeah, talking to me is like beating Yume Nikki.
Right.
Most people won't tell you that. Anyway, okay, I guess.
What do you mean most people won't tell you that? Is it highly guarded secret?
We've done ad-libbing around. Do you have any other questions?
Oh yeah. Okay, so, yeah, basically that's the meat of the game. There's 24 effects, get lost for a long time, use the wiki to actually find them, because you'll never be able to find them otherwise. I say people are always like this. I saw, like, 2 people act like this on Reddit. People are like, oh, don't use the wiki, it'll spoil the fun of the game. Well, you're supposed to not use the
wiki for as long as possible.
Okay, but, like, the thing is, like, use the wiki if you want to. It's just a game. Like,
yeah. Some Yume Nikki purists will be like, don't use the wiki unless there's a person holding a gun to your head saying, go on the wiki. Use the map for Forest World.
Yume Wiki.
Yume Wiki.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do you have anything, like, what's your personal experience with this game? How'd you find this game?
I don't actually remember. All I know is that I think I actually got it before it was released on Steam, because first the only way you could download it was through the wiki. I mean, obviously the creator had originally uploaded it to whatever site she uploaded it to, but then it was localized and translated, even though there's like 3 things that need to be translated.
Yeah, basically all you need to translate is like
the instructions and the effects.
Yeah, like what is bicycle in English?
What is bicycle in English?
It's bicycle, stupid.
Hey, how do you say pickle in French?
I don't know.
Pickle in French. It's funny, right? Anyway, yeah, so, and then I got the game, I don't know why, and then I played it, and I think I played it when I was, like, really depressed, so I was like,
Man, it's so real. I go to sleep, I see weird guys with tumors, too.
Yeah, no, and I don't know, it was, like, I don't know, I feel like that's the only time I could really get into it, because now I just kind of like it as, like, a concept, because I feel like the actual gameplay, it's, like, fun for a little, but I can't play it for more than, like, 30-minute increments, you know what I mean? Well, I guess you wouldn't know what I mean.
No, I do know what you mean. I think something about this game is that it's a really cool idea it's the kind of game I don't entirely think you really have to play to enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should play or like try to play it to see like certain effects or whatever, or like events. I mean,
it's become more of a fandom than it fandom has become the experience itself more than the game has.
Yeah, although I feel like it's worth playing the game if you're like really depressed and suicidal or something, because then you can like wander around. What I would do is I would like have her like sit down, because you can press a button to make her sit down. Have her sit down in an area and be like, I wouldn't cry. I don't think I would cry.
Yeah, you don't cry.
I don't cry. But anyway, I don't know. I just played the game during a really weird time in my life, and I beat it. And the thing is, I had already seen the ending, although at that point it wasn't very popular. So, because I probably Googled like best free games. I think that's how I got it. I Googled like best free games when I was in like 5th grade.
So was this like the first, like now you're a connoisseur of like the RPG Maker?
Yeah, that was the first.
That was the first one. That was your introduction to it.
I say Ib was the first one I played, I think, but that's a lie.
Isn't it Ib?
Ib? It's Ib or Ib. I don't know. Anyway.
For someone who knows nothing about that game, I sure do have an opinion on how you pronounce it.
Actually, it's Ib. Anyway, but actually, I believe it was, fucking Yume Nikki, which is, I mean, that makes sense because I consider it to be the first of, like, the experimental RPG, quirky little RPG Maker games, right? Because, like, RPGs were a thing, obviously, and RPG-style mechanics, but RPG Maker as an engine wasn't really... I mean, I feel like it was probably utilized, but not... This was the first time... Oh, my knuckle crack showed up on the recording. But anyway, I feel like it was the first time it was utilized in this manner, and... Stop it. Yeah, so I think... conceptually and as like art, I really do consider this game art, because I know very few people consider video games to be like art or whatever.
I consider video games
well,
to be art.
You and me,
Pick
precious.
me.
Because like with LSD Dream Emulator, which
what is that?
That's different. I mean, I could do an episode on it.
No, but like you can just tell me what that is in 5 seconds for our lovely viewers.
LSD Dream Emulator. A lot of people consider it to be the 3D. Listeners, a lot of people consider it to be the 3D equivalent of Yume Nikki, which, like, okay, because it's like it's another thing where you're walking around fucked up dream worlds and you like see fucked up guys and there's like no real events or anything. I mean, like gameplay. And I can't remember which came first. I think Yume Nikki.
LSD Dream Emulator was a PS1 game, right?
Yeah.
So it probably came first if
yeah, and then it was region locked in Japan, and then it didn't do very well commercially for God knows why.
Probably because it's really stupid.
I love that game. I haven't actually played it, which is, you know... Because they don't have a good... Like, it's really hard to emulate, and now we're talking about LSD Dream Emulator!
It's okay, like...
See where the night takes us! Anyway, yeah, so... I think that's a pretty good comparison. I forgot what my original train of thought was there.
Your original train of thought was you don't really remember a ton about your original playthrough.
Yeah, all I know is I was really depressed and I really liked it and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And like this was before I was really on like the internet and like fandoms and stuff, so I didn't really have anyone else to like talk about with the game, so I would just be like, I played Yume Nikki. And it would just...
And then you just kind of chill.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, yeah, so I looked it up on like I looked up like best, and I remember is the fucking website where I looked it up spoiled the ending of the game, which is insane. I looked it up and it was like, this game's really sad. I was like, why is this game sad? And it was like, we'll tell you why it's sad. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So I'll go into to my experience with this game. I played this game like 6 months ago.
So you're fresh.
Don't act surprised. I was a pretty late adopter of the game. You
popped your YN cherry early. Late, I see. Oh, fuck me. Just keep talking, sorry.
Well, I'll edit that one out.
No, you won't.
Yeah, there's going to be like 4 editings, and one of them's going to be when like my mom opens the door. I'm recording this at my house instead of at my dorm, because Lola doesn't live there.
I don't live in a cage at my dorm like I want. Come out and record another podcast, Lola. Do you want to talk about the Scream movie? It's the original, though.
Yeah, but don't scream too loud. No.
We're in my dorm. Okay, sorry.
Okay, anyway, that's something.
That's some banter.
Anyway, I played the game in like it was like late 2022. I didn't really have anything to do. It was this. I'm still a freshman in college, so I can't be like, I was a freshman in college. It was the best time of my life or anything. But like, it was like 6 months ago. Anyway, the game really scared me. I'm very easily scared. Like, this is not a horror game, but like, I kind of agree with Kikiyama. She's kind of right about this one. It's not a horror game. It is kind of a spooky game, though.
Yeah, I feel like it has like horror elements, just in like horror imagery. But I feel like that's, I don't know. If it's a game about dreams, there's gonna be like creepy stuff.
So like, I'm gonna be real. It's only loyalty to you that got me to play that game for more than like 10 seconds, because it's just like you take a nap and you go to the fucking main area and you enter an area and there's just like 2 notes playing at you over and over. It's like do 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 do.
I remember I kept getting mad at you because you kept being like, honestly, Yume Nikki is really inspiring to me in my artwork because it's crazy how a game can suck ass. And I still have such a big fandom.
Right, like if Kikiyama can make it in the competitive video game industry, like literally anyone can. Because this is just a bunch of crap on like a fucking.
And I was like, whatever, Cass. Yeah. I don't actually think it sucks that much.
Yeah, I don't think it sucks, but I do think it is interesting how something that clearly that is so simple.
Yeah, and I don't think. I mean, it really doesn't seem like she was intending to. Like, I don't know. I think that's part of the appeal of it, is that it's so like not. I don't know. I feel like it's so like not made for like a wide audience. It was clearly just this chick like messing around and being like, because I feel like she. I'm not like opening up fucking paper. Oh god. Anyway, I'm not reading this off anything, so this is just from the top of my head. But I feel like it was originally to like as like not like an album conceptualizer, but I feel like she did make music before she made games. So
you wouldn't know it from the music in this game. This is like
I like some of the music, like the Mother World music is really good. But some of the music is just like dee 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 dee.
Yeah, I cannot.
There's like a bunch of playlists on YouTube. They're like relaxing dream music from Yume Nikki.
And then it's just like 2 notes over and over again droning. Like I'm pretty sure you will have dreams about weird tumor monsters if you listen to that while you go to sleep.
Yeah, that's our fan theory. Marutsuki just has like the world's most fucked up like
playlist
iPod
going.
Touch, and that's why she dreams so twisted.
It would have been an iPod shuffle.
Yeah, we should definitely have like a theories segment of this.
Oh yeah.
Because I do know a lot of theories. Because fun fact, there was like this website. It was like a beginner's guide to Yume Nikki or something. But they took the fucking website down, and it's not on like it was on some like weird obscure like gaming website, and it's not on the Wayback Machine. I know because I checked, and because no one was like, gotta make sure this doesn't get taken away from me.
Except for you, apparently.
Except for me, but I didn't know about the Wayback Machine back then. Anyway, it was where I learned about most of the popular Yume Nikki theories, and there are a lot. Like, if you go on the TV tropes page, there's like, like, the bulk of the Yume Nikki page is like the, what's it called? Like, YMV or something? The theory part, where it's like got the little walking guy.
What?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm not a TV tropes head.
I'm not really a TV tropes head either. Anyway.
The only reason I like look at them is because it's not blocked on school Wi-Fi, so I'm like, let's see what TV tropes has to say about this piece of media.
All right,
funnily enough, Yume Tuki doesn't actually have a theories page.
Anyway,
there's nothing to say about
I was talking about for a second. I was talking about my experience with this game. So I played it, and I had 2 friends, one of whom is you, and one of whom is some guy who really wants to get me to play Omori.
That guy.
I don't want to.
I hate Omori.
Yeah, this is gonna be our funny, silly running joke. Oh, Lola hates Omori.
Because I do. I hate it. Oh, my stomach just growled. I'm so hungry for vengeance.
Right.
That's an. Oh yeah. Well, it's, fun. Like, this isn't Mandela effect. I don't know why I said Mandela effect. It's fun, like world connected theory. Toby Fox, I don't know if you guys heard. Fucking you guys, I'm gonna kill myself. Anyway, he did get one of the only interviews with Kikiyama before. People's only mode of contact with her is she was like completely radio silent except for very few emails that fans were able to send her, because she did have her email on the site, and then after a while she just didn't answer them anymore. That's how people found out she was a girl, because she used her in the emails, whatever. Anyway, which wasn't actually common knowledge because that's a completely different thing. But Toby Fox this year, I believe.
It was like recently, a month ago, basically.
Did get the first recorded interview with the creator of Yume Nikki, which is insane because everyone presumes she was like dead or like completely offline.
Well, she did. We'll talk about the platformer in a little bit, but she did officially like endorse the platformer, right?
I don't. No, I feel like that was exposed as like a scam, as like a marketing ploy.
Oh, really?
Maybe. I feel like it was, or maybe just my twisted mind was like, I hate this platform.
I think you just don't like it, so you're like, she wouldn't
endorse it. She wouldn't fucking endorse it. Yeah, no, but I don't know. It feels so disingenuous to the original.
So, I'm pretty sure the merch was official, at least.
Yeah, the merch is official. I love the merch. Anyway, I have I have the notebook, but that's it. And plus I'm too scared to use it. I'm like, I can't sully my perfect Yume
Right,
Nikki
like, what
notebook.
if you write something really stupid in the Yume Nikki notebook and you just have to live with that?
It's like, God, I can't believe I didn't mean it.
That's why, like, for my journal, I literally just use, like, a composition book. Because, like, I don't want to write in something cool.
I know, so what am I supposed
that makes
to
there
do
be
with
so much more gravity. But anyway, this is incredibly off topic.
Yeah, so basically you were talking, and I was talking about the Toby Fox interview, where he actually interviewed Kikiyama, but here's the catch. She could only answer in yes or no, and he would ask like pretty not vague questions, not like open-ended, but they were like vague. It'd be like, did you ever draw creatures? And then she'd be like, yes. Yeah. And then the only fucking question that wasn't like a yes or no was like, what would you order from, I believe it was Arby's?
It was Denny's.
No, Denny's. Why? And then she said like fucking shrimp, which I remember reading that and being like, that's insane. Who orders shrimp from Denny's?
Yeah, like I think Denny's might, like, because I know McDonald's has like radically different menus overseas. That's like the famous example. So maybe Denny's serves casserole with shrimp in it.
Yeah, that was insane. Like I remember reading that and being like, what the hell?
I kind of want some shrimp casserole. That sounds kind of good.
I hate shrimp. Well, I guess I'm also a vegetarian. You know, I had a dream. No, I can't. No, wait, this is on topic because it's a dream. Last night my dream involved shrimp. It was like we were at this restaurant, and like they just gave us like a bowl with like live shrimp in it, and it was like water, and then I was like,
and you had to reach in and grab them?
Yeah, basically, and I was like, I can't eat this. This is just live shrimp. And then they gave us a to-go box because he didn't eat any of it, which is like a paper box filled with water, and then we put a shrimp in it, and then I went with my mom, and I like brought it back to the ocean.
You set it free.
I know, I set it free.
Oh my God.
It was beautiful. Anyway, so, I mean, and then I'm bringing this home. Toby Fox, me and Cassidy Podolsky are kind of beefing with him for this interview because we think it's annoying. Like, if you somehow manage to get in touch with Kikiyama and you're not fucking Yume Nikki Dream Diary platformer adventure, then you should, I don't know. It's not like you, like, if she doesn't want to answer that stuff, then by all means. But then it's also like...
But the way this was phrased on Toby Fox's thing, this may have been something from the translation, but he the way it seemed like it was like Toby Fox was like,
I don't want to upset this delicate flower.
Like, oh, the game's so mysterious, and part of the mysteriousness is not knowing anything about it.
But, like, come on.
I think if you're, like, the only guy to get in contact with this person for, like, basically 2 decades at this point, you have, like, a moral obligation to find out as much as possible.
I feel like. But then don't, like, set up this thing where you're like, I don't want to upset you. I don't want to ask you, like, so do you think Marutsuki's, like, lezzing out in her dreams? And then you're like, what the fuck? And then you leave the room in, a huff. But, like, I feel like...
Well, I don't know. I don't think it was for Kikiyama's sake. I think Toby Fox thought like that was part of the fan community. I don't know. I just find it really frustrating that like that we could have known so much more, and instead we got shrimp and
casserole.
Yeah, but the funniest question, and the one that I always think is like you know, this interview might be a little frustrating, but at least we got this.
Yeah.
Is Toby Fox is like, when I made Undertale, my hit video game that is very good and popular, I got so overwhelmed because I didn't think I could be as good as I was before. Did you ever get overwhelmed with the popularity? And Kikiyama's just like, no.
No, because I don't fucking give a shit.
Because I'm not a little bitch.
Yeah, and she has like virtually no online presence, like literally no online presence. Anyway, so bringing this home to my hatred of Omurai, which I could have like a whole separate fucking podcast, which would just be me yelling in like a dark room for an hour, because I fucking hate that game. First of all, as an RPG Maker connoisseur, which you will find out if you're an avid listener of this podcast, which you should be. Anyway, I love the
experience. Don't say that when there's only 1 episode so far.
Okay, I mean, like in the future you'll probably find out that I'm a connoisseur. Also, you're finding out now because I'm saying it like an asshole.
And you're always gonna be like, oh yeah, I was playing Eve, and I was playing .flow, and
I was on that
Your Pants.
Space Funeral grind set, and I found the garish colors quite amusing.
That's not how you pronounce garish.
Garish? Oh, fuck me. Anyway. So Omurai I fucking hate because it's just so disingenuous. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on my Omurai hate speech. I'm not gonna do it. But the point is, Toby...
I'll play Omurai eventually.
No, you won't.
And then we'll have a podcast episode about it.
Where I beat you to death with a rusty fucking
No,
spoon.
like you'll be able to hate on it in a constructive environment where it gets me those sweet views.
Oh yeah, and all those Omari fans are gonna hate watch it and be like, these two faggots don't know what they're. Am I allowed to say that on your podcast?
I guess you are now.
I can reclaim it, guys. You guys want to see my resume? That's a good bit. Right?
Have you been working that one in your head?
No, I think that's from something, but I don't remember what. Anyway.
Oh, so that joke will not be included on your resume.
Yeah. I'm not. You know that word is banned from my house. It's like 1984.
Resume.
Resume. I'm not allowed to say I'm gonna go work on my resume. My mom's like, shut up. That's not funny. Anyway, my dad thinks it's funny though, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. I probably got really loud there.
Yeah. Anyway, fucking Toby Fox. Now we finally wrap it up, put a bow on it, and move to your next little question. And we go, Toby Fox fucking composed music for Omari, and it's like, that is the second reason why I'm beefing with him. So he has one more strike, and then I'm beating him to death.
I mean, because the thing is, I really like Toby Fox's games, but the man himself seems so incredibly pretentious.
I know.
So it makes sense that he likes Yume Nikki, because, like, I like this game, but this game is pretentious as shit.
The game itself isn't pretentious, though. I feel like it's just, like, a certain subset of the fandom.
A kind
is
of
like,
theorizing person who's very pretentious, if you get what I mean.
I'm honestly surprised fucking Matthew Patrick hasn't hit it, but I guess it's a little too...
I just don't think it has, like, wide appeal. There's no super fun conclusions you can draw to that. We'll get to it when we do the theories. But first, I just want to sort of talk about a couple more things from the game before we get into stuff that's, like, outside of the game. I say before when we just spent, like, 10 minutes talking about Toby Fox. Anyway.
We hate Toby Fox.
So... you want to just go over some of the more, like, iconic stuff from the game?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of it is Yuboa. You want to explain what that is?
Okay, so basically this was the reason that the game kind of gained more notoriety, because Yuboa was kind of the breakout character, which also got it popular in the West, I believe. And
because it looks like a scary guy.
And
I'm pretty sure it's going to be the guy on the logo for this episode.
Oh yeah.
I have this plan where I'm gonna make each episode have like have a slightly edited logo in relation to whatever's in the actual episode.
I can't get enough of that.
So I think eventually you'll find a way to get enough.
I have an insatiable appetite. Anyway.
So Yuboa will probably be the logo.
So Yuboa, it's like it feels like one of those creepypastas that people would like tell on the playground about like a Nintendo game where they'd be like, guys, I was playing Animal Crossing last night and Tom Nook came into my room and beat the shit out of me in Animal Crossing, and then his eyes turned black and a bunch of
he looked right at the screen and said, I know you, Kirsten, I know your sins.
Kirsten?
Kirsten? I don't know, that's like an elementary schooler name.
I get it. Once they graduate, they lose it. Anyway, so Yuboa is this thing where there's this area in the game.
Anyway, it's creepy and weird and doesn't look and like appeals to the kind of like creepypasta type crowd.
Yeah, which people were going nuts for in like 2000. Like I wasn't scared by Slenderman, but I was scared by Jeff the Killer. And Annabelle, I think, was also scared by Annabelle.
Who's Annabelle?
Who's Annabelle? That's my little sister who's like probably
a psychopath.
Yeah, she's oh my god. She what did she say when I was like, Annabelle, would it be trashy to get a Yume Nikki tattoo? She like scowled at me and went, ugh. And she was like, no, Lola, go do what you want. All passive aggressive. I hate her. I don't actually hate her. We have like a frenemies thing going on. It's kind of cute. Anyway, so unrelated to Annabelle, moving past the Annabelle segment that will be in every podcast I'm in.
Right. No, I'll make sure to talk with Holly about Annabelle for a while too.
She doesn't know her.
Yeah, no, I don't know Annabelle, and I can be mean about her.
Yeah, and then my other sister has like a insane parasocial relationship with Kat. She made her like a creepy like stalker poster. It was really funny, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
That's enough about my sisters.
Right.
So we're talking about Yuboa now. Anyway.
That's enough Wall family lore. Now we're
Yuboa is, you're in like the snow world, which I love the snow world. It's so relaxing. And
it's one of the worlds off the Nexus, one of the easy ones.
Yeah, one of the easy ones to get to. So, and then in one of the igloos, which are in the snow world, there's like this portal, and you're like, whoa, and it leads you to the Pink Sea. And in the Pink Sea, there's Puniko's house, and she's like this chick, and one of the very few humanoid NPCs, which, you know.
Yeah, as far as I can think of, there's only like 4, right?
Yeah, there's like the ghost, which I don't know, and then there's the girl in the snow world who's like sitting down, and then there's Puniko, and then there's Moniko, and then there's Minnow.
We'll get to them because they're all pretty well iconic to this game.
Yeah, and so you go to Puniko's house, and you go into her house, and she's got a pretty cool layout, And she, like, sits there. I don't, notably, she reacts very minimally to effects. I think she'll, like, kind of twitch if you equip the cat effect, which is usually used to lure NPCs towards you. And she'll run away from you.
She doesn't give a fuck.
And she'll run away from you if you equip the knife, like most NPCs do. And then you can kill her, but, I mean...
But you don't get anything.
You don't get
Except
anything.
for, like, 1/8 of the time you get, like, vending machine money.
Yeah, and, like, I don't think killing her is permanent or anything, so you can just go back to bed and wake up. Anyway, that's a reminder. Killing people isn't permanent.
Yeah, because it's a dream.
Anyway, so, well, actually, whatever. We're not talking about Yume Nikki right now. Anyway, so you kill her, you don't kill her, and if you go in, you can turn her light on and off. And normally, if you turn it off, it'll just be like the world, but the colors are inverted. Ooh. And you're like...
Well, they're not inverted, they're just muted, but yes.
Yeah, they're muted. And then 1 out of 64 times of you going in, clicking like...
So, this is interesting. A 1 in 64 chance means that whoever found this didn't find it because they were like, oh, I think I'm gonna turn the light on a bunch. Like, they found it and they thought that happened every time.
And they're like, oh, oh.
So they probably told this to their friends on the hypothetical playground. And
the Yume Nikki playground.
And they were like, yeah.
Not like elementary schoolers playing Yume Nikki.
Okay, but you know what I mean. We were using the playground metaphor for the creepypasta thing earlier.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's insane.
They probably thought that happened all the time, and no one believed them, because, like, 63 out of 64 of the people who would see that internet post on the internet playground went in there, flipped the switch, and nothing happened.
And then they were like, what the hell? Which probably lends to its, like, creepypasta notoriety.
Right.
Anyway, so what happens if you do turn off the light and the 1 out of 64 chance activates is that Paniko, once an innocent blonde girl, turns into this fucked up creature, like a melted sort of blob thing with like a white dripping face, and if you click on...
Yeah, if you've seen Undertale, he looks like that creepy guy from
Gaster,
Undertale, whose name I don't know.
It's Gaster, I just said it.
Okay.
Anyway, so he looks like Gaster, but like bigger and like with no body. Anyway, so if you click on Uboa, and like it has this really glaring music, and it's like, oh!
Yeah, so you're probably scared.
Your pants are probably a little damp, at least. And anyway, so then you click on Uboa once you're like done changing your undies or whatever, and then you click on Uboa and you go to what's known as Uboa's Trap, which is like this area which you cannot escape unless you wake up or use the hand-eye effect, where you're just kind of trudging through sludge, which it's
not so bad.
It's not so bad.
It has its charm.
Yeah, and
but
people
anyway,
are like, which another icon, which is the most iconic thing to happen in the game.
It's just like a creepy thing.
People went nuts for it though. They were like, Yume Nikki, and we're like, what?
That is exactly what they said, actually. I was there. But yeah, I don't know. Like, the kind of thing that happens only 1/64th of the time
is one of the defining things that people who haven't played the game or aren't in the fandom know about.
Right. Like, the stuff that's going to happen all the time in this game isn't the iconic stuff, which I think actually says a lot about like the kind of fandom this game attracts, which is like weird and surreal and willing to go in and out of a
I did that. I played it on stream
over.
for Cass when she hadn't heard of the event, I think, or maybe you'd heard of it and had never done it.
I'd seen that guy on the internet, but I didn't even know it was.
So I was like, Cass, look, and I just had to go back in and out. And
and I thought you were acting like an asshole, like just being like, check out this light switch.
No, and then it finally happened, and I think you were like dozing off or whatever.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a scary noise.
Anyway, okay.
But anyway, the funny thing is when she streams stuff on her computer for me, the bottom half of the screen will be green and the top half will be gray. I don't know what causes this issue, but
it's a new computer too. Like, I just got it like a year ago.
Yeah. So yeah.
Imagine Uboa, but in green.
Right. It kind of takes the scare out of a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's the most iconic thing, and I'll go over the other iconic events involving NPCs.
Oh yeah, but wait. Before we do that, I just want to talk about the like White Desert area because
I love the White Desert.
That has something to do with the Uboa's Trap,
and it has an even more rare event called I forget what it's called. But it's like the fucked up fetus thing that like floats in the sky.
Flies at you while the bongos play.
Yeah, I think that is 1 in 256 chance, but it resets like every second.
I thought it was like 1 in 32,000 every frame or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Isn't that weird? That's such a weird way to measure.
I found it. I didn't know it was rare, and it scared the shit out of me because you just hear bongo. Yeah, because the chance happens so frequently. Anyway, the White Desert is an area that's like. It's, like, styled after, like, doodles on, like, lined paper.
Yeah, it's, like, completely monochrome. and it's like filled with like creepy guys or like just weird creatures.
It's like
it's got Spectator Dave, which that isn't the file name. A lot of the NPCs will be named in the files, but that's just what people called him. They called him Spectator Dave.
The guy with the silly face.
Yeah, the one from that picture that I was showing you on my phone. Yeah, I've seen what Zero Pussy does to a motherfucker, but it's people are always saying what Zero Pussy does to a motherfucker, but I've seen what Pussy does to a motherfucker, and it's much worse. And it's just a picture of a Yume Nikki
character.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, it's just one of the more interesting worlds. There's a couple interesting worlds. One of them is the
my
White
favorite
Desert.
is the barracks.
One of them is the White Desert, which is sort of styled like
but I also like Witch Island.
Pencil and paper. One of them is the Wilderness, which is sort of like a deserty area with steps that go into the sky. And then the one that's you can find a spaceship and take it to Mars. And one of the most interesting areas, I think, is the Famicom area, which is styled after NES RPGs, but not specifically NES. I think it's styled very intentionally after Mother 1, is what it looks like.
Because the game was based off of Mother.
Yeah. And I think
that's even more interesting considering how no one's a fan of Mother 1.
Right. Also, Mother 1, which is the prequel to Earthbound, or the first game in the series that Earthbound is the second one of, the Mother series.
And then Earthbound 2 is Mother 3. It's all very confusing. Anyway.
It's not that confusing, but anyway.
That one, I think that area has the best music. And it's cool because each of the sprites, for like the different effects you can have, they'll have like sprites for the Mother area, which I think is cool.
So there's an entire second set of sprites that are an 18-bit, or that are 8-bit instead of 16-bit, which is what the regular game runs at.
Yeah. Fun tidbit about that is that I saw this fucking thing online when I was looking at theories, and one person was like, why, if Madotsuki only has Nasu in her room, how does she know about Mother 1? Which I think is such a funny nitpick.
I don't know, she probably heard about it on the internet.
Yeah, well, she... what internet? Also...
she might have a phone.
Yeah, halfway through the game, Madotsuki pulls out a fucking iPhone.
Yeah, and she calls her mom. Anyway.
Mamotsuki.
So yeah, those are some of the more interesting areas in the game. Generally, a lot of the areas in the game are just a bunch of shit floating.
Yeah, and then like looping
Candle
maps.
World, which is just a bunch of candles on a black background. There's Eyeball World, which is a bunch of eyeballs on a black background. There's Puddle World, which is a bunch of puddles on a black background. There's Dark World, which is a black background.
You need the light effect. Well, I guess you don't technically need the light effect if you're a lunatic, but like most of us normal people need the lantern effect, which is
to be able to see. And even then, it's just a brown background instead of a black background.
Yeah, a fun thing that it does do, which I think is cool, or I mean it's kind of weird, but it's cool, is that where it'll have like a background where it isn't stagnant. It'll have like these moving images, which a lot of people talk about this, where a lot of images in the game are based off like Aztec like imagery and stuff. Like
especially the ones that are just sort of floating around in the background of these areas that are just a bunch of stuff in a void.
And there's this even interesting theory, I don't know if I buy into it, but there is like this thing where it's like this classic Aztec like I think it's like a blanket or something, and it has like a girl that kind of vaguely looks like Madotsuki, and people are like, make the connection because there's a lot of Aztec imagery in the game, but I don't know.
It might just be a design inspiration. It doesn't have to necessarily signify anything about the actual game itself.
Yeah, because that's, I mean, I should probably talk about the iconic characters before I go into like theories and stuff.
Right, well, we're going to talk about the more iconic stuff. So, I don't know about you, but what comes to mind after Yuboa as the most iconic thing is the face event.
Oh, yeah, the face event. This is a popular thing to cite in theories, where it's...
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about theories, fuck me. Anyway, so...
Sorry.
I'm gonna kill myself, Cass. I'm gonna kill myself on stream, and that's how you'll gain notoriety.
We're not streaming. I can just not upload this. Anyway.
Anyway, we're live right now. Okay, so this is in Numbers World. This is a pretty great world. I don't know. It's kind of jarring, very like flashy. Do you get the neon effect? I don't remember. Do you get the neon effect in Numbers World?
I don't think I ever got the neon effect, actually. I think it's one of the few ones I didn't get. I will talk about what scared me so much that I stopped playing the game.
It's so embarrassing. Anyway.
Yeah, it is kind of embarrassing.
I wasn't actually able to do this for you on stream because I didn't have the knife effect and I was too lazy. I think like my stupid sister was like,
so anyway,
so you're in Number World and
it's like a 1 in 8 chance, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a chance thing. It's just
it is a chance.
Oh.
It's not as crazy as 1 in 64.
But there'll be like a zipper, right? Because there are a bunch of zippers on the wall, but there's one zipper where if you you get your knife effect and you cut it, it'll actually open. It'll make a screaming noise, I think, or like blood will gush out, something.
It looks a little bit different. I think it looks sad compared to all the other ones that look happy or whatever.
Yeah, and then you cut it, and then it screams and blood gushes out, and there's an opening, and then you go to this staircase where there is the titular Q-Coon, and
titular,
right?
He's not in the title.
Oh God, I hate when people criticize me for using that word incorrectly. I have this one asshole friend who keeps doing it. Anyway.
Oh, is that me?
No, it's not you. You've never once. That was actually the first time you criticized me for using titular wrong.
Because I think it's kind of funny.
I think he titillates my senses. Anyway, this wasn't actually a name in the game code. I will always reference that. It's a fandom name that people gave him because he's rubbing the banister and it makes a rubbing.
Yeah, there's a staircase you can go up and he's just sitting there rubbing
the banister. Anyway, notably,
it's important. He looks like a penis.
He looks like a penis, like a multicolored. Think of like the world's worst, like fucking
a bad dragon,
or
dildo.
like a bad a bad dragon dildo. But he's not like spiky. He's very like phallus, and then he's like all multicolored and he's got this fucked up smiling face. He will react to effects. If you equip the knife effect, he'll rub faster, and if you equip the cat effect, he'll rub faster, and if you equip the knife effect, he'll rub slower, and stoplight will make him stop rubbing the banister. And then you walk to the top of the stairs once you've gotten your fill of fuckface.
Yeah, I call this guy Penis Guy because I cannot for the life of me remember his name.
Q-Coon.
Anyway.
Q is his name. Coon is the honorific people have assigned him because they think he's cute.
He is kind of cute.
He's kind of cute in like a twisted sort of way.
Cute Coon.
Cute Coon. Anyway, so then you go to the top. And if you open the door, there'll be like this fucked up face. I can't even describe it. It's like just like a very like LSD like ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of just like those magic eye tests where it's just a barrage of colors, but if you like squint your eyes, you can sort of see something through the noise. It sort of also looks like static.
Yeah, and I guess you can kind of see a face there. It's very like aggressive. And then what happens is there are very few events in which Madatsuki will actually wake up. This is one of them. I think the other one is the Witch's Flight event. But that's like less scary and more like, oh, she's having such fun and she fell off her broom that she fell off her bed. So that's cute. But in this one, she just wakes up like aggressively. And it's known as the face event / the Q-Coon
because it kind of looks like a face.
I guess. Yeah, it kind of looks like a face.
To be honest, it's just sort of
I think it
terrifying.
is called face in the game files, though. It's F-A-C-E, all caps.
It's just kind of unsettling.
Yeah, it's one of the... In my mind, this is the scariest event in game. In Cass's mind,
it's the third scariest, and we'll get to the other ones. Okay, so what do you think? So those are the big two in my mind.
Yeah, well, I think so. And then the other big two, which you will see them when people draw all the Yume Nikki girls scantily clad, is you will see Monoko and Mino. There's also like a ghost girl, which is how you get the scarf event, but I don't really consider her an NPC.
It's not an event; it's an effect.
It's an effect.
Effect. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure all the poor listeners who don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, we've lost them. But anyway, so the first one is Monoko, which she is like this girl. It's in the White Desert, and she's
both of them are in the White Desert.
Both of them are in the White Desert, and they're both like monochrome styled, and she has like a skirt.
Hence why they both have mono in their names.
Yeah, and if you click on her, nothing happens unless you equip the spotlight effect, in which case Stoplight. In which case, she'll go from like a normal sprite to like a fucked up with like
a zoom in or like a close up of her.
A zoom up of her, and it'll be like her arms out, and she'll be like
noticeably her like two of her arms are split into other arms, and she has an arm coming out of her
and
head.
Her eyes like oozing, and her like sprite will change too. And
so this isn't really a theory in my mind. This is basically canon.
That she, especially since the way you get the stoplight effect is by clicking on a smushed corpse by a road.
Car crash, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people say, "Oh, she was in a car crash," which I think it's probably just canon, right? Because
I don't really think that's a theory. The way you activate it makes it pretty clear.
Yeah. Anyway, so and then
so she was in a car crash. That's kind of creepy. But it's nothing compared to the bitch we're up to next.
Mino, who a lot of people consider, I think it's mostly just like in fan canon now that this is Monoko's sister because they're both stylized the same. Cass says it's because they're both in the White Desert. I've always seen them as sisters because I'm fandom poisoned. Where Mino is like her older bitch sister.
So what will happen is basically you'll go up to her. Do you have to stab her or just click on her?
No, you just click on her.
And a similar zoom in to what happened with Monaco. Not the city Monaco, but the There's an O instead of an A. Anyway, a similar zoom in will happen, and it's just her face, and she's got this creepy ass smile.
She's got a little smirk, and then she'll teleport to another place on the map. And if you click on her,
she's looking at you smug, like she knows something you don't. And what she knows is that you just shat yourself, because when you're not expecting
no one else
this,
is scared by
it's terrifying as shit. She's looking right at you. I don't know. It really scared me, and I turned the game off and stopped playing it.
Which is embarrassing.
But don't worry, I've either watched you stream or looked on the wiki to glean the rest of the content of the game. I don't consider myself a fake fan.
I guess I'll go theories, and then I'll go. And then ending will be connected to theories, I bet.
There's a couple more things I want to talk about in events. First is the other scary thing in the game, the Aztec monkey raid.
Scary.
So there's this area that's like sort of like a dry desert, like a dry tundra with a bunch of like dead shrubs and weeds.
That's the
and
wilderness,
stuff.
right?
The wilderness, yes. And there's like all these Aztec-styled ruins, and they're like made out of these cubes, and like some of these cubes will just sort of be lying around the wilderness, sort of far away from the actual temple. And how they get there, I don't know. Anyway, one of these cubes, most of these cubes just like sort of form a maze you have to walk through to get to the next area. But one of them has a black hole in the side, and you can look into it, and then you are immediately overwhelmed with a very loud music, club mix music track playing.
They're called the Aztec rave monkeys because they're raving.
A monkey flashes through all 256 displayable colors over and over and over and over again, and I don't know. It's just kind of unsettling because it's making a weird looking O face at you. And I don't know, it just really scared me. To be entirely honest, I wasn't scared by the Yuboa stuff. That didn't scare me, probably because you set it up for me. But this stuff scared me just because it was so unexpected and so harmless.
Yeah, you're a jump scare person, right?
Yes, I definitely am.
I think jump scares cheap horror, but that's also because they work on me, and I'm a pussy.
They're cheap. I don't think they don't work. If you call something cheap that doesn't work, you call that free.
That's funny. That's not that funny, viewers. Listeners.
Yeah, no one's viewing
I keep saying viewers.
Hey, viewers, do you want to buy my merchandise? Would you like an official Cass plushie? No.
They do have an official. They just released the official Aboa plushie, which is cool because it's Puniko, and you flip her inside out, and it's a boa.
Yeah. Are there any other sort of iconic stuff from the game you want to talk about before we move on to theories?
Yeah,
and then maybe talk about the platformer a little.
There's no. I'm gonna kill you. Anyway, so there's. I feel like in terms of there are a lot of events in game, but the more iconic ones, which involve characters, is in the wilderness because we're on that topic. There's the Turanigan Party, which is where you see these fucking bird ladies
that are hounding you the whole time.
They're living it up, and it's completely you can't access it. There are blocks in place, so you just have to kind of twitch on the sides. They have music, they have a picnic. They're arguably having the most fun of anyone in the game, and you just have to sit there weeping
because you weren't invited.
Also, another one is the Mars event, which I could also mention. I'll mention the manga a little because the manga.
We'll talk about that
because it ties into the Mars event. Anyway, no, I'll tie it into the Mars event. Cass,
okay,
don't come to my house. Tell me what to. Anyway, if you listeners, we are at Cass's house right now. Anyway, so the Mars event is you can actually go, and I think this is a pretty hard area to reach, but you go into a spaceship and you see I forget what the guy's name is, Masada, yeah. Masada.
He was the fifth guy I was thinking of when I said that 5 number, and you were like, oh, well, there's only 4.
Yeah, I don't really consider him a humanoid. And then so you go in and you can go to bed and the spaceship is crashing and you wake up. It's actually a really cute event. I really like it.
It's a 1 in 6 chance. I know this because I looked at the wiki.
And anyway,
for the spaceship to crash when you sleep inside
it. So you sleep inside the spaceship, it crashes, you land on Mars, and then you can have fun in Mars. And one thing you can do is if you do the this is politically correct. It's what the effect is called.
Yeah, it's called the midget effect. I don't really know. It doesn't seem super.
Yeah, you get really, really tiny and you can multiply and stuff. And I don't know, it could also just be a translation thing. Either way, you can go into a tube and you see Mars-san, which is this guy who's Mars-san. The san is an honorific. You see this guy who's crying and it's this fucked up guy. And it's, it's kind of, he doesn't have any malicious intent. However, the manga, which I will say, I don't just have criticism for the manga. It has a beautiful art style, and I think a lot of the concepts are really cool. Like, they gave Madatsuki a hoodie, which is cute. And instead
of what is generally considered to be a sweater, which is what she's wearing with the iconic with the square pattern on it.
Yeah, so they gave her.
I was gesturing towards my chest, but no one can see that except for Lola here.
I can confirm. Anyway, so they did.
What are you talking about? She wasn't gesturing toward her chest.
Liar. Anyway, so yeah, it's like the manga. The art is really beautiful, and they do a lot of good stuff with I don't know. Just events in game, which I think is cool. They have it, but the story sucks so much ass that it's completely irredeemable. I feel like Yume Nikki, you could make a manga where you have a story, which sure, I feel like you could do that. The only problem with this is they made it such a fucking shitty ass story, and I don't know if they were entirely reliant on fans being Yume Nikki manga, or if they were also gonna be well, I mean, maybe maybe we're doing something. So anyway, in the fucking Yume Nikki manga, I'm not even gonna go through the story. It's so asinine. But they have Mars-san be the villain of the story, which is insane because he's just some guy.
Whoa! If I had to pick a villain, I would have picked Uboa, right? Or Trauma.
Yeah, Trauma's the real villain, guys. Anyway, another fucking thing which I don't like about the manga is that when they have Uboa, which they give Uboa a ponytail, which okay, I guess I see what you're doing. Or
I always thought Uboa was a gross head with greasy corpse hair.
Exactly, that's what I think. But I don't know. I just considered it to be a shape. But they gave her I guess they gave her a ponytail, and which to emulate Honiko to show that they're two sides of the same coin. Which I guess that's interesting. But what they also fucking have is they, instead of going to Uboa's trap, they have Uboa hit Madatsuki with a stick or some stupid shit like that, and then Madatsuki's crouching, she goes, mother, stop, and
is Uboa supposed to be Madatsuki's mom?
I think the implication
we're going into theories here.
The manga was doing was they were oh, well, she's had an abusive family, so of course she would relate this to her mother, which that's their view of it. But what I don't like is when fans credit that for their theories of Madatsuki having abusive parents, because that's not canon. Not canon. The manga is not canon. I will stay on this hill. And there's also a novel which I haven't read, which also isn't canon, and a lot of people don't like the novel and they don't like the manga, and I am with them.
The manga's probably cool for some cool art, though, right?
The art is cool, but I honestly wouldn't even recommend reading it because it's just so fucking stupid. And Edie pissed me off so bad because they
have a friend named Edie who might be on this podcast at some point.
Yeah, if you can wrangle them in. Edie pissed me off so bad because they were reading the manga like it was canon, and that's how they found out about the ending. They were Lola, is that the ending? And I was yeah, because I thought they had beat it or something. And they're what? You just spoiled it. I'm fuck you. You just read the manga. I hate you. I hate you. Anyway, we're good friends, Edie, and I don't want that to be.
Anyway, okay, so we should talk about the ending before we get into theories.
Okay, so the ending is once you get all the effects, you can actually
drop them in the next,
and they show up as eggs. Whoa.
Why? I don't know.
Whoa. And then a lot of people will be you have to arrange them in this pattern, but you don't.
You don't have to arrange them in a circle. The wiki shows them in a circle. It confused me so much.
And you're they gotta be in a circle. No, people have them be a smiley face. Some people have them be a
frowny face. Oh yeah, okay, penis. Yeah, let's go with
those
penis.
Immature people. Anyway, so you have your penis eggs, and then you wake up. She wakes up. She bends herself. She wakes up. Anyway, and then if you go out to the balcony because you're oh, why do I go back to sleep? I have all the effects out there. Which how would you know you had all the effects? First of all, did people just get the ending?
I think it said get all 24 or something at the start.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. And so you get up, and after you fucking around in your room, you notice something that wasn't there before, and that is there is a staircase on the balcony. And then you jump off, and that is the end of the game. And the way the game ends is there's a frame, and it's a splat of blood on the ground, and then there are these two jellyfish NPCs which are in your dream, and they shake their little heads, and they go jingle jingle, and that's the end of the game, which was spoiled for me on freegames.net.
Yeah, so Madatsuki killed herself. Maybe?
Maybe? Which leads into theories. A lot of people... there was a fan thing that people made, and they were aw, which is where instead of having her kill herself after she gets all the effects, she opens the door and leaves into the world. Aw, that's beautiful.
That's not what happened.
Miss me with that baby shit. Fucking, I hate, they did that, and that was also the canon ending in the stupid ass platformer, which I know I'm probably just a jaded freak for being that's
oh yeah, let's talk about the platformer.
Oh, don't make me talk. Anyway, platformer, I will spare, I don't want to waste any of my words on this platformer.
There some company, I watched a YouTube video about this for a while ago. They bought the rights to like create a new Yume Nikki game that's like a platformer. It's,
puzzle platformer.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty simplistic and doesn't have a ton of the areas that are super iconic. Like specifically, the ones that are missing are like the White Desert, Mars.
And they also like yassified everybody. They like I don't know how else to describe it.
The Famicom area are the big ones I can think of that are missing.
They like made all the characters like really weird and like I don't know. Like I get what you're doing for like you're trying to like make them more like it, but some of them it was like an insane leap to turn like a walking like ball into like a sexy muscular man, and you're like, okay guys. Anyway, platformer sucks ass.
Yeah, it's called Yume Nikki Dream Diary.
Dream Diary. Anyway.
That's kind of stupid,
it's also $20.
But I feel like that's like the easy thing to pick on it for. It's the dumb title.
Yeah, which I mean, everything else is like it was made in like 2020, and it's $20, and it looks like it was made in like 1303.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a PS2 game that looks really nice for being a PS2 game.
Yeah, and it's like okay, and also I don't know, it's just and like the puzzle element of it is really weird, and there's like. I don't know. They also try to make Minot like a sympathetic character, which Cass doesn't.
No, she's a bitch.
Yeah, they like have this whole thing where you like I don't know. You like piece together a photograph for her, and she's like she hates like QQ-kun, they're like beefing, and like I don't even know. I haven't played the game. Like
she probably just hates QQ-kun because he's my favorite penis guy.
Yeah, because she hates you specifically.
Yeah,
and you know no one else got that event. That was just you.
She got in my face like that. It was such an asshole move.
Anyway, I do like how in the fandom it's generally considered that she's like an asshole. But what are you looking at?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyway, theory time. One big theory, as I was saying, where people have her leave, is people will be like, well, no, she didn't actually kill herself, it was a dream. The evidence for that is the, like, jellyfish guys, and the fact that they were like, well, she had moved on, she had graduated from pinching herself to wake up, now she's throwing herself off the balcony. Another thing is that the stairs weren't there before. A lot of people will be like, no, she was
How'd they get there if she's locked herself in her room?
But then people will be like, oh, she was just ignoring them. Which is like, okay, I guess I could, whatever. Anyway, popular theory time. Two of the most popular theories are that either that, three of the most, but I don't have a lot for the third one, is that...
Okay.
Well, shut up. The first one is that Madatsuki is trans. The second one is that Madatsuki was sexually abused or assaulted in some way. And the third one is that she's like a psychopathic killer.
Come on, woke people, I don't like it when they put trannies in my video game.
Guys... she can reclaim that.
Yeah, no, I can reclaim that, I guess.
Maybe. Anyway, no, you can't. Shut up. We can't get canceled episode 1!
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Madatsuki is trans theory. I think it's cool. I mean, the game is so up to viewer interpretation, and it also has reached a very widely queer audience, which I think is interesting. And I think a reason for that is I did a PowerPoint on this. A guy who did a PowerPoint on it. I did a PowerPoint on it. But one reason is
manuscript.
We gotta go. Anyway, so there's we do talk like that in stream though. We do. Anyway, so there are 2 bathrooms in game, a girl bathroom and a boy bathroom. Originally, you couldn't go in the girl bathroom, which I think is interesting. Which a lot of people see as her like internalized transphobia or whatever. She would like shake her little head, but now you can go in both. I think
that's because she doesn't need to pee when she's sleeping.
Well, she went in the boy bathroom. Anyway, she went into both bathrooms, and in the final game, she can go into both bathrooms, which I think is noteworthy for a game with so little actual content, is that you can go in both the boy bathroom and the girl bathroom.
Yeah, like most things, you'll like see a weirdo guy and you click on it, nothing happens. But like you see a weird bathroom, you click on it, you can actually go in.
Whether it's
you can't go in the bathroom on your bike, which is tragic, but you know.
That makes sense. That's not
okay.
true.
Well, it's the first thing I tried because I'm pretty sure the girls' bathroom is in the same area where you get the bike.
Well, now that I've got my bike, it's time to pee. Anyway. But yeah, so I think that's interesting.
They're single stall bathrooms either way, but yeah.
There's a lot of closet imagery, and then there's even a character named Closet Madatsuki, which is just Madatsuki but in a closet, which is like, okay guys, that could be related to the general theme of like isolation within the game, which I think, yeah, that's definitely there, considering you're so alone and very few of the NPCs react to you at all. And
all the ones that do, like, fucking rub the stairway or fucking look at you with the stupid smile.
Loneliness isn't a theory. I just think it's a very prevalent theme within the game, is that, yeah, you're very lonely, even in your, like, dream world. You're so alone. Anyway, Another thing is that the egg thing, although I don't know, that's a reach, but
I really I won't get into this right now, but I find the whole egg thing really frustrating.
Like in general, or with like Yume Nikki specifically?
No, just in general.
Anyway, then there's also the fact that there's a lot of like body imagery in the game. Like there are like these evil uterus creatures, there's like the phallic imagery, there's like, and a lot of people interpret that as either like dysphoria or dysmorphia, which I think is interesting because yeah, it's in your dream. If you see like a bunch of evil looking uteruses, then it's like, oh, eek.
Yeah. So
the fact that I don't have a uterus makes me want to kill myself, you know, that kind of thing.
Right. I'm generally averse to like sort of ascribing characters being trans to like saying characters who aren't explicitly trans are trans. I think that's probably just internalized transphobia on my part, but I don't find this theory super compelling. But
well, yeah, and one thing I do like about this theory is that I played this like little game which I thought was super cute. It's called Madotsuki's Closet. It's about this girl who like got really into the Yume Nikki back when it was like on forums and stuff, and there were a lot of theories about like Madotsuki being trans, and that's when she realized she was trans, which I thought was cool. And she like the first people she told that to were like the friends she made on like the Madotsuki forums, which I think is cute. Anyway, whether or not it's in author's intended, Annabelle is convinced the author is trans, but that's Annabelle being a lunatic. I don't know.
Nah, she's real for that one.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, like, I guess we can't like speculate on that because it's freakish, but like I mean it would make sense. I wouldn't be like shocked or anything. But like,
Toby Fox should have made that one of his 10 questions.
Yeah, are you trans? Do you have a penis? Like, come on, no. What's the genital situation? Oh, whoops, that's not a yes or no. Anyway, another theory, the Madotsuki was like sexually assaulted or like sexually abused or something. I feel like I could see where people are coming from this, but this could also just be very Freudian. Where it's like
there definitely is a lot of Freudian stuff, like old penis guy inside the zipper.
So the big thing there is the face event, which is you see like zip open, there's blood, whatever, and then there's like the penis guy, and then there's the face, which is like very traumatizing, whatever. So I could see where people are coming from with that. Yeah. Also, it's like, well, why is a lot of the theories hinge around why is she like isolating herself like this, and stuff with like, oh, she's abusive parents, she's isolating herself. Oh, she's trans, she's isolating herself.
Oh, she's been sexually assaulted, she's isolating herself.
Which I feel like, okay. I don't know. It's just the whole game is very much up to interpretation, so I feel like theories like that are going to be very prevalent, and I think that's interesting because, there is imagery in the game, but honestly, you can make the imagery kind of mold it to whatever you want. Like, there's more stuff on, like, car crashes than there is about her being, like, an evil killer.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the evil killer stuff. Because this is sort of a personal pet peeve regarding, like, theories, is that blank was evil the whole time.
Yeah, like, I get where it's like, I think it ties more into loneliness that she's only able to interact with NPCs in such limited ways where she can either attract them towards her by being a cat girl.
Or stab them to death with a knife.
And it's like, I think that's more just like loneliness and that you have to like act out to get, maybe this is just not, it's like, oh, you have to act out to get attention. But like, I don't think her being able to stab things and all like the mutilated corpses in her dreams is her being like a twisted evil monster. Which is what a lot of people, they're like, oh, she's...
Yeah, I generally find like, extremely like depressing, dark, like theories like that to be really frustrating. Like, oh, Ash Ketchum was dead the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, the Rugrats babies are in purgatory.
Like, that's just not. I feel like that's not particularly interesting to me. Like, I could say Sonic was dead the whole time. Yeah, Sonic was dead and Eggman is the devil. Like, okay.
Whatever, Cass. Like, so, yeah, that's a boring theory.
You can do that with anything.
Yeah, and, like, I get that there's, like, gory imagery in the game, but I don't feel like that gives enough substance. Like, another theory that's cheap is, like, oh, it was a dream the whole time. Which, like, yeah, it literally was a dream the whole time. Shut up. Funnier theories is that, she has, like, something wrong with her eyes. Like, her eyes aren't level. Which I think is an interesting theory because it's, like, there's the stuff with the alien where the alien's eyes aren't level and then, like, she never opens her eyes and that, oh, well, what if the reason she couldn't see the staircase is because her eyes are fucked up? And, like, I don't know. That's just, like, a fun theory. And I think theories like that are really interesting because it's, like, okay.
Yeah, that's sort of, like, creative in a way that I find, like, the murderous psycho one isn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there is a lot of imagery in the game which kind of ties into, like, sexual abuse and, like, maybe gender or whatever. There's definitely a lot of stuff with body dysmorphia or dysphoria where there's, like, a lot of very grotesque depictions of, like, organs and body parts.
And just, like, very gross things that someone who does not like themselves might draw.
Yeah, basically. So I think, I don't know. I feel like it's interesting, and whether or not it was the author's intention, death of the author, in which case it could literally be death of the author, because most people assume Kikiyama was dead. Or
nope, she's still alive, and she can plug merch and endorse platformers. Okay, so is that all you have on theories?
Yeah, I think that's all I have on theories.
All right. Do you got anything else to say about Yume Nikki that we missed? Do you think?
I mean, probably.
I'm gonna just ask you a fun little question. Do you have like a favorite effect?
My favorite effect, it's I really like the witch effect. It isn't very practical, but I think the witch's flight event is one of the cuter ones in game.
It's one of the ones that doesn't like imply some sort of horrible trauma.
Yeah, and I also like the bike effect just for its practicality. And I'll do like my top 3. And I also, weirdly enough, I'm kind of a severed head fan, just because it's so stupid. And like I made like a cross-stitch severed head, and because it was the only one that I had the amount of like colors to do with my thread.
Right. You were sort of forced to do it just based on practicality alone.
Yeah, so then I bonded with it. I was like, severed head, me and severed head.
Yeah, you spent a couple hours with severed head, and you grew to know them closer.
Yeah, I think witch's effect is like cheap because that's everyone's favorite, but I think severed head makes me different from the rest. I'll
go with my favorite. I don't have a top 3 prepared, but my favorite is the stoplight event. This should be no surprise to you personally.
Yeah.
The stoplight effect. This should be no surprise to you personally because of my love for the dice effect.
Oh yeah, and Yume Nikki.
Basically, I just love ones where Madatsuki is replaced by a thing, and all she has is her feet, and that's what the stoplight is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. You want to plug your social media for my podcast?
I do have a Tumblr, and I did kind of numbers in the Yume Nikki Tumblr page.
All right, you want to tell me what that is?
It is Underwater-Pinball, the name of my hit comic.
Oh yeah, you want to plug your comic?
Oh yeah, I make this great comic. It's very unpopular on Webtoon. I got a 1-star rating. And, I lost a bunch of followers for my Valentine's Day Vietnam War one. But people like it on Tumblr. Well, by people, I mean like my 3 friends.
I like it.
Cass loves it. It's silly. A great comic.
I like to be really mean to you about continuity.
One day, I'll make it big, and that bitch who rated my comic 1 star is gonna die. They're gonna go to hell.
Yeah, your rabid fans are gonna have her drawn and quartered.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm assuming it's a girl. I guess internalized misogyny.
Yeah, probably.
Only a girl will be offended by my Valentine's Day Vietnam War joke.
Yeah. What? You can't take the Vietnam War jokes like a man? Anyway, so that's your comic. I know you have a Twitter. Do you want to share it?
Yeah, my Twitter is fucking Cupie Frosting, which is whatever. It's embarrassing. It's private, so you're gonna have to go through my bouncer. To see my controversial takes on Omori. Yeah, and get this shit off my dash.
Eventually, I'm gonna make a email if you viewers want to write in.
We hated your last episode, guys.
But I also have a Twitter at @I_Chortle.
Her tweets are really funny. I think they're funny.
You don't need to pad my ego. The podcast is over.
No, come on. I think they're funny because I don't know. I have this like persona on my Twitter where I'm like totally like your diehard crazy fan.
Yeah. Well, you'll often retweet my things and be like, check this shit out.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I will be returning probably for hit stuff like Yume Tuki if you like the Yume One Key one. Things like Scream if you like gay boys in horror. Things like Tusk if you like straight boys in horror.
Right, if you like straight boys and walruses in horror.
And I don't know, what else would I do?
I don't know, we'll find some stuff. We talked about doing a SteamWorld dig too.
Yeah, and Omori if you want to hear me yell and
I'm gonna be real, Omori might never happen. Also, I call it Omori, am I wrong for that?
No, I think it's like, I don't know. They fucking...
Okay, you don't need to go feral. We have like 2 seconds left. Okay, so write into the email that doesn't exist, but I'll make it. It's probably gonna be something like podcast or something like that. Something silly. Bye-bye.